Hello, Okay, no. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's 1883 Speaker Series. My name is Emma Pierkowski, and I serve as the Distance Student and Leadership Program Manager in the Student Involvement and Parent Programs Office. Each week, we invite a campus or community leader to talk about how today's student can develop their leadership skills, as well as other advice regarding personal and professional development. We hope you learn some valuable lessons in the next 18 minutes and 83 seconds. For today's speaker, please join me in welcoming the Vice President for Marketing and Communications, Meloney Linder.
All right, can everybody hear me okay? All right, thanks so much. Awesome. All right, so at UND, we are leaders in action, and we often challenge everyone to lead their own way. So I use that as my inspiration for today's talk. And for me, leading your own way means being authentic to who you are. And so as I was preparing for today's speech, I racked my brain about who do I really admire that is authentic. Dolly Parton. I have been a huge fan of Dolly since I was a little girl. And she truly embraces to me what being authentic is. She is unique. She has her own persona. She's iconic. She's known for her wigs, her rhinestones, and other larger-than-life assets. And she owns it. It's become her brand. She also takes risks. She left her small town in eastern Tennessee to go to Nashville as a singer-songwriter. She's been an actor. She's a businesswoman. She's a philanthropist. And most recently, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And she said, if I'm going to do that and accept this award, I'm going to do a rock and roll album, which she did, which is a huge risk because it's completely out of her genre. She also is vulnerable. She owns her story. She grew up in poverty in eastern Tennessee, and she's not been ashamed of that. She's owned it. She's written songs about it. She's had movies about it, but it's part of who she is, something I really respect. So when I was thinking about what should I say today, I did a little bit more research on Dolly, and she received an honorary degree from the University of Tennessee at Knoxville, and she gave the commencement address. And in that address, she said, I don't give advice. I give you information, and you can decide what you want to do with it. So that's what I'm going to do for you today. Like Dolly, I really believe we're all unique, and we should embrace that uniqueness. We all have our own strengths. We all have our own experiences that shape our perspectives. And it's important to embrace that, because when you embrace who you are, and you know what lights your soul on fire, you bring your best person forward. And so my advice to you is always to be unique and embrace who you are. The other thing about that is knowing your strengths, while important, it's just as important to understand where maybe you're not as strong, or at least the things that you don't like to do that much. And then bring people in around you that complement you. And that helps you bring the best work forward. So part of your uniqueness is we all are multifaceted, myself included. So in my roles, I am a mother to two very strong women who challenge me every day to be my best self. I'm also a daughter. I'm also a sister. I'm a community volunteer. I serve on a lot of committees and boards in the community. And yes, I'm a female professional. All of these different roles that I play influence me and how I see the world, and they influence how I lead. Because you can't compartmentalize your life. And so again, it's just part of who we are. The other part about being authentic and leading your own way, I found, is being willing to take risks. So Steve Jobs, when he gave his commencement speech to Stanford University, talked about your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. And I really believe this to be true. Throughout my life, I've taken a lot of risks because if there was an opportunity that presented itself to me and it got me really excited, I said yes. It might have been moving across the country to go to college. I've moved cross country several times for various jobs and other personal reasons. And each time, it was something that I thought would really be exciting to me. I thought I would grow. It'd be a new opportunity. Not all of those opportunities turned out the way I thought they would. And that's part of life too. In a leadership exercise that I did back maybe in 2016, I was asked to map out my professional journey. And Steve Jobs also has a quote that says, "You can only connect the dots looking backwards, not forward." And when I did that exercise, I realized that every opportunity I took led me to the next opportunity because of the networks I created, the skills that I had developed. One just constantly led to the other, and it was interesting. I also noticed my life was ups and downs. Like I said, not every opportunity turned out the way I wanted it to, but I will say this, I have no regrets. Because every opportunity I took, I learned something. And in fact, if I'm really honest with myself, it was the times that they didn't turn out so well, where I got hurt, or maybe I failed, I actually learned the most. I dusted myself off, you pick yourself up back again, and then you move on. And it actually led to the next opportunity, as I said before. And I will say this, those opportunities that didn't turn out so well, they made the ones that did even sweeter. So take risks. Don't be afraid of failure, because you will grow, and they'll lead you to other more wonderful opportunities. The next piece of information that was really transformative to me as well was when I was introduced to the work of Brené Brown. It was probably about 2016, and I was introduced, so she is a professor. She's a TED Talk author. She's written numerous books. I'm sure many of you in the audience are really familiar with her work, but it was this particular piece, The Power of Vulnerability, that spoke to me. And in this piece, she writes, "Vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. It is the source of hope, accountability, and authenticity." This really resonated with me, and then it went on to say, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you take away the power of shame and insecurity. You can own your story, you can be unique, and just as important, it's been my experience that when you allow yourself to be vulnerable with others, you give them permission to be vulnerable with you. And that, for me, has been the start of true trust and the foundation for real creativity and relationship building to take place. So give yourself permission to be vulnerable, own your story. It will make things better. There we go. So some in the audience have heard me say this before. When you're in marketing, you get a lot of feedback. And feedback is a gift. That was a really hard lesson for me to learn. From the time I was young, I was really shy. And through my young professional career, feedback to me, and sometimes, was almost devastating. If I got critical feedback, you could tell me 10 positive things that I've done, but all I could focus on was that one piece of negativity. It would hurt, maybe I would get a little defensive, but then when someone shared with me that feedback is a gift, and why it's a gift, it really shifted it for me. And what I mean when I say that is, when someone gives you critical feedback, they usually will only do so because they care about you, or they care about the work, or a combination of both. And when it was said to me in that way, I now can take that feedback and use it to grow and make the work better. The additional piece that I take with that is when you're giving critical feedback, because as you become a leader, you do have to do that from time to time, also treat it like a gift. Package it in a way that the information you're sharing with the other individual can be received with the intention that you mean it. And that will really be transformative for you, or at least it has been for me. The other piece of information that I find useful is a quote by Peter Drucker that says, culture eats strategy for breakfast. What does that mean? Well, unless you know how work gets done in an organization, you can hit a lot of roadblocks. And every organization is different. You can have the best strategy, the best idea that you want to implement, but if you don't know how work gets done, who the influencers are, who to bring into the conversation to get buy-in, you will likely have roadblocks. So just remember, culture can eat strategy for breakfast. All right, nobody does this alone. And I have a lot of these people in the audience today supporting me. So this is a picture of most of the Division of Marketing and Communications. And if you're in the audience, wave your hand. See, they're all, thank you all for being here today. I am truly blessed to work with just an amazing group of individuals who are all unique, and they are all extremely talented in what they do. And when you respect and honor and you bring all of those amazing ideas together, the work that takes place is better than anything you could ever do on your own. You don't lead a team of one. So, I also am a fan of stand-up comedy. And when I was preparing this speech, I came across, I'm a follower of Ricky Gervais' Twitter account, and I came up with this quote that said, enjoy life, have fun, be kind, make the most of it because it's all we've got. And those of you who know me know I love to laugh. I love to have laughter in our work. We work so hard every day. Life can just be really challenging. We all have different things going on, but if we're kind and we can laugh together, have a little levity in the situation, it just makes it better. You build trust, you're honoring the other person. When you've rolled up your sleeves, you've had a stressful day, and you can just crack a joke and have a laugh, it's great, right? It really just makes coming to work every day, it's getting through life. It just makes everything better. So kindness, laughter, I truly am a believer in those two things. They really do make life better. In closing, leading your own way, what it means to me, it's embrace your uniqueness, don't be afraid to fail, allow yourself to be vulnerable, take the feedback as a gift, give it as a gift. Remember that culture will eat your strategy. Nobody does it alone, but most important, have fun along the journey. Now, I'm going to close with a piece of advice or information that I have shared with many of my UND leadership colleagues from time to time, and that is, when speaking, be brief, be brilliant, and be gone. And hopefully today I've given you one, maybe two of the three. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Melanie, for joining us today, and thanks to all of you for coming. Join us next week as the Dean of the College of Nursing and Professional Disciplines, Dr. Meredy Sjogren, joins us. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you.